Week 0's in the books. We got a lot of football that's going on right now, and now the football season is getting ready to start. But before I close out this chapter on week 0, I got to give y'all the rundown on my 3. That's right, I got 3 things that I took away from this game. And what I'm going to share with you, I'm pretty sure some of you are going to be like, Coach, wait a minute now, you're a little too early, too soon to say something like that. And I want y'all to understand one thing. This is week 0. This is what I call dress rehearsal. This is dress rehearsal for how the season can possibly go if we don't change up some things. Or better yet, this could be how the season will end up if we get in there and make the necessary changes that need to be made for us to be successful. And I'm going to go ahead and jump on in this thing because I know you're like, Coach, just go ahead and give it to me because we done heard everything from everybody all day today talking about X, Y, and Z when it came to this MEAC SWAC Challenge football game. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. To Tomorrow League Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap me in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in that thing. Because they're like, Coach, what you got going on? What's your take on this thing? Listen. I had a great time while I was at the game. I met some phenomenal people. It was a young lady that was sitting behind me in the post-game presser. When I tell you she was on her business talking about sports just in general, I'm talking about she gave an overview of everything. She got family up in Detroit. I didn't get a chance to get her name before she left. She had booked up out of there like right after everything was over with, and I was still sitting around chopping it up with a lot of folks, and I was trying to get to her to go ahead and get her information, her contact information, because I like the way that this young lady break things down as far as just sports in general. I mean, she was in there talking that talk, and one guy was trying to cool off a little bit. I said, nah, let her cook. She was on that thing, so let her do what she need to do. So I just want to say shout out to her. Also, I want to give a huge thanks for the Cash App. I received the Cash App in one of the other shows, and I gotta say thank you because, like I stated before, people are, when you're willing to go ahead and tap in with your favorite coach and just donate or share with me something, just to let me know that I'm doing a great job. I appreciate that, and I want to give you your flowers for giving me my flowers and say, hey, listen, you know what, Coach? We thank you for all your hard work and effort and what you've been able to put into this thing, to entertain us on the daily. So I just want to make sure that I did my due diligence with that to say thank you. And that Cash App, that Cash App came from none other than Miss Zamoria Woods. I want to say thank you. Thank you again for the Cash App. Also, she said today for Jacktown, Mississippi Jackson State University. That's where it came from Miss Zamoria Woods. I want to make sure I pronounce her name correctly. If I didn't, I do apologize, Miss Woods. Please forgive your favorite coach on that one. Also, we had us a winner. Coach got to buy somebody lunch. They guessed the score correctly. I'm trying to make sure I get all my thoughts together. I got a lot of stuff running around right now because I'm trying to make sure I stay on task as far as what I'm going to share with you guys. But yes, we had a winner. I believe it was Mr. Ray. He guessed the score 31-14. He was correct. I need to get in contact with him to let him know that he was the winner and I owe him lunch. Now, this game. 3 things that I took away from this game. I'm going to say, number 1. Both teams damn sure got a running attack. Both teams definitely got a rushing attack. That's going to be a problem for some teams this upcoming season. If your team can't tackle, especially if your team cannot tackle, daggone, make sure I got let me get my notes here together. Let's get back to brass tacks and things. I got it. Listen, both teams have a rushing attack. That's number 1. I'm going to give you that right now. Chris Mosley for North Carolina Central University. That young man rushed the ball 15 times for 174 yards and 1 touchdown. He was the MVP of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Check this out. That young man averaged 11.6 yards per carry during that game. And the craziest thing was watching him as well as the other young man, Trey Holly, over at Southern University, who rushed the ball 10 times for 106 yards, 1 touchdown. He also averaged 11.6 yards per carry. Look here. Coach Trey Oliver said to us that Chris Mosley should have gotten more carries than what he did last season. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that young man rushed the ball totally for the season 10 times for 258 yards. This young man's low. He's another one. If you cannot tackle him, it's lights out. It's lights out. Playing 4 quarters of football is what we need to see. North Carolina Central, they did that. Coach Trey Oliver, he made us aware that they didn't make it back to the Celebration Bowl last year because they didn't play 4 quarters of football when they played against South Carolina State. Understood. That's how South Carolina State was able to get there. They beat them in that game last season. They was able to get to Atlanta to play against Jackson State for the Celebration Bowl. Now, with all of that being said, in this game, this is number 2. In this game itself, both teams had a rough time tackling in this game. I can't tell no tales with all of that. Because of the simple fact that it looked like early on in the game, it looked like these two teams were having a rough time with tackling. It looked like nobody practiced tackling at all during the spring and the summer. I promise you that it just looked terrible. But they were able to go ahead and get things together for them to give us a damn good game. I mean, you had Cameron McCoy break wide for 80-yard touchdown run. I mean, I said before, this young man, I want to see what his pace is going to be like in the pocket as far as with him taking those reads before he go ahead and make a decision and do what he's going to do. In that instance, I mean, when you open up the middle of the field for him to take off, I don't expect him nothing but to pull that damn ball down to take off and go, and that's exactly what he did. Caught North Carolina Central slipping out there on the field where he was able to take advantage of it. And watching how these two teams were able to get themselves, keep this game going back and forth. It was like a heavyweight fight from beginning to end. And when it was all said and done, you saw North Carolina Central come out on top. But another thing that I did see, and that's this number 2, the defense. Southern University, yeah, you guys are gonna, you're gonna make the necessary changes you need to make and get yourself together for you to do what you need to do to be successful this season. I don't have no questions about that. But there's nowhere in the world you let a team come out there and they go with a 0 coverage and you don't try to exploit that more often than what you did. I understand the fact that McCoy, he was not, if I'm not mistaken, he was not supposed to be the starter in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I spoke to someone from Southern University who did give me the information while we were in the booth, stating that there were some things that, took place where, and even coach even said it himself after the game, where they had to do some disciplinary things as far as whatever took place that kept the quarterback from being in the game. And I respect that. But I need to see if by chance something like this happens again, not saying necessarily that the number 1 quarterback is out, but I want to see the quarterback that's in there is ready for the moment. He was not ready for the moment in this game. I mean, you guys are down 17 points in the 4th quarter, and you're running plays like this is the 1st quarter. We're not running plays like that. And that was one of the things that kind of threw a monkey wrench in some things too, because now all of a sudden it's like, okay, you got to make a play. You try to make a play, and trying to make that play is a little difficult. And you're trying to figure out exactly what it is that you need to do, and you came up short in this instance. Now, thing number 3 is defense. Defense. When the head coach is in the when he's in the post-game presser, and he gives you that look, and then he looks off and he explains what he got, explains what he got to say as far as what's happening, both coaches, you sit there and your mind start to wonder about, okay, let me go back and revisit the things that I said during the shows that I put up for, the game itself, just giving commentary. And Coach Graves made it clear, simple and clear. Hey, a lot of folks got to talking about, what we're able to do and this and that. And, we got to get out here. We got to get back to basics. We got to get back to the drawing board and make some things happen. I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to say this as, I'm going to try to say this as, I'm not going to say politically correct, but I want all of the athletes that watch the show, and I'm sure, what I'm going to say, you're going to pass it along to a lot of folks to help them understand, hey, man, coach is looking out for your best interest. For all of you young men out there that's looking to go play on the next level, these games are the games that you got to come bring it. You cannot go out there on the field and show. You cannot go out there on the field and look small. It's not possible. It's just not possible. When you go out there on the field and look small, guess what? Them teams begin to look at you. Those recruits that are there, those scouts that are there in the game, they begin to look at you and wonder, like, okay, maybe this is just not the guy for us. But I will say this, and I want you to hear me clearly. There was a couple of them up there in the booth watching the game. I'm gonna let that cat out the bag right there. There were a couple of them up there in the booth watching the game. And some of you guys that are looking to go play on the next level, you cannot play like that in these type of games. This is the time where you got to show up, regardless of the fact if this is week 0 or week 20 or week 200. Get your tail out there and handle your business, because you're trying to get picked. You're not trying to go in there as an undrafted. Undrafted, you got to fight your tail off to get to where you're trying to go. Not saying that you can't do it, but you got to make sure you put all of the pieces to the puzzle together from beginning to end when you step out there on that field, from mini camp all the way on through. So I just want to make sure I put that out there to you. But let me get back to this thing here. Now, with all of that being said, there was one young man that I gave a lot of credit to. And when I tell you, Coach Trey Oliver looked over, he gave that look like, I said to you guys in the pregame presser, this was in one of the conferences that they did, build it up, trying to sell it to everybody, getting everybody excited about what's going on. And Coach Oliver sat there and he said out his own mouth, he said, listen, people think we don't have the talent over there to get to it and do what we need to do. We do. We've been over there building up these athletes, developing them. He stated out his own mouth in the post-game presser. He said he's not one to go get them athletes from them big name schools. He haven't had great luck with them. But them other kids, them D3s, the NAIA kids, he gonna get them bad boys, and guess what? They coming that bad boy and they hungry, and they willing to go to work and do what needs to be done to get out there on that field.
The transfers we got out here playing came from Division II, and I think one from NAIA. We ain't got no SEC transfers. The ones I find struggle.
With that being said, he made it known, hey, listen, I tried to warn y'all about what's going to happen, and nobody wanted to listen to what we had to say. Southern University's defensive backs, as well as North Carolina Central defensive backs, too much holding going on, too much grabbing, not enough covering, not enough playing the ball. Everybody trying to grab, hold, keep it from getting the ball. There's a lot of times a lot of that was allowed, and there was other times where they flagged it. And I honestly believe as the season go on, it's going to hurt you more than help you. So you better get yourself together right now and make sure you handle your business. As far as working on your craft when it comes to covering. Covering straight up, you guys can do it. You just got to go ahead and quit peeking in the backfield, trying to see what that quarterback is going to do. Take care of what you need to take care of. Make the main thing, and handle your business from there. And then everything else, you let that play out and go from there. Now, with all of that being said, Walker Harris, the quarterback play. I can see, watching that game, you saw a little bit of Davius Richard playing that game based on the thinking that Walker Harris was using throughout the game. Walker Harris was picking apart the defense because of what the defense was giving him. He wasn't not there trying to play outside of his character. He wasn't trying to go outside of what he needed to do to make sure that the team was successful. He did everything that he needed to do to get that ball down the field, to move that ball methodically down the field. At one point in time, Southern University defense was on the field, I want to say 30 more times than North Carolina Central's defense was, based on the play count, based on the number of plays each team had ran. Because Southern University was scoring like on one-play drives. I think they had one point in time, they had a drive that like 37 seconds. They had another drive that might have been like a minute, but they hit big chunks, 4 touchdown scores. So that allowed them to do what they needed to do to make sure that they were able to score points. But in the end, it was hindering the defense, because you can look at the defense and tell that they were getting gassed in that game. And this was in the first half. They looked like they was getting gassed, because every time you look up, you got North Carolina Central. They moving the ball down the field, Even though Walker Harris fumbled that one ball on the, was it a 2 or 3 yard line that rolled it to the back and rolled it to the end zone. That was a touchback. North Carolina Central drove the ball down the field like 8 or 9 plays. And I mean, they methodically was eating up clock. So that right there was just putting a strain on it, putting a strain on their defense, putting a bigger strain on them. So guys, I mean, honestly, truly looking at everything that took place, North Carolina Central did leave 14 points on the field. They left 14 points on the field. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I know y'all like, Coach, come on, man. This week 0. Listen, I understand all of that. All I'm simply saying is this, that now the season is kicked off. It's time for everybody to understand what's going on. And you got to be willing to do the things that you need to do. This ain't let's kick Southern in the behind and make them feel some type of way because they lost. Yeah, there was a lot of chatter as far as like some of them scores, as far as the predictions that when I asked people for predictions, they were talking crazy with those scores. I'm like, wait a minute, come on, guys. Let's be real here. Southern University got Mississippi Valley State next week in Itabena. Now, I want to see how these boys get ready to come out next week in Mississippi Valley State, because this go tell the tale. One thing for certain is this: if you not listen, when it comes to these running backs for both of these teams, defenses, this is the last thing right here. If your behinds is not willing to tackle, excuse me, if your behinds is not willing to get out there and tackle, and I ain't talking about trying to hit this guy with no daggone with no kill shot. That's for both of them. I ain't talking about no hit stick tackles out there on the field. Y'all behinds better wrap up. Because you can very well watch your daggone season go out the damn back door for 6 points up the sideline because you didn't make a tackle out there on the field. Y'all better find a way to wrap that young man up. Trey Holly is not an easy tackle. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's not. And looking at him out there on the field, after I stated in my pregame assessment, when I sat there and said, man, they got some little bitty, that dude, looking at that cat in person, oh, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy. So all I'm saying is Southern University, make sure y'all come out next time. Y'all prepared. Y'all are prepared. There's a little bit more I can add to this, but I'm not going to sauce this up no more than what it already is. I'm going to leave it the way. I'm going to leave it just where we're going to leave it at. Congratulations to North Carolina Central on winning the game. They came in there. They were prepared. They were looking to get this thing, get after it. Coach Trey Oliver, he wasn't mentioning no words as far as what's going on. Special teams is another thing. Y'all better make sure y'all special teams is on point because again, both of these teams can break one wide open on you in a heartbeat. Who is it? North Carolina Central got a kid over there that, I think it might, if I'm not mistaken, it might be Chris Mosley that's returning kicks too. I could be incorrect, but they got a young man over there that's returning kicks that's fire. He is fire. So y'all better get ready. Y'all, week 0 is in. We're gonna close the book on this thing right now. We close the book on that thing right now. It's closed. But guys, y'all make sure y'all tune in, tap in. North Carolina Central got New Hampshire this upcoming weekend, and Southern University got SWAC foe Mississippi Valley State. We're going to see how all this turn. We're going to watch and see how this turn out. I'm hoping to see some good games between both of these teams. Could it be a possibility that these two teams end up playing each other here in December? We shall soon see. But I will say this. Let me say this right now, because I want this on wax. North Carolina Central could very well end up averaging 33 points per game this season. That's how potent that offense is. Book that. I said it. 34 points. That offense can average 34 points per game. I'm telling you. Watch what I tell you. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and get the ball out this thing. I kept y'all long enough. But until next time, be the one and lead.